What am I going to read in July? Stay tuned to find out. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Zach with Zacks Books, and today I've got for you my July TBR. So these are the books that I'm planning to read in July. Obviously this is just kind of like a base thing. Obviously other things are going to be getting released in July that I'm going to read. Some of these books I might just not get to. Which that's evident in my June TBR. If you watch that video, a lot of the books I did not get to. One of them actually I pushed over into this one because obviously it's a series and I need to read it. Need to get through it. Just didn't happen in the month of June. Some stuff came up and I just didn't get to it. So all these books that we're going to talk about, we will link down below. If you're intrigued with any of them, take a look at them. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for stuff like this. And let's get started. Alright guys, so let me get started with the first book I'm going to talk about. And that is The Martian by Andy Weir. So if you have seen my video on my top 5 books for 2021, I don't know what's going to come out first, this or that. But if this happens to come out second, we'll have that linked up here. But the book I'm going to talk about is The Martian. This is the first book that Andy Weir wrote. So a lot of people, and Project Hail Mary was my favorite book of 2021 so far. This is a book that came out before that, and I had no intention in reading it, but after I read Project Hail Mary, I have got some high hopes for this book to be pretty good too. As good as Project Hail Mary? Probably not. But still, could be a good book. I don't know. So that is why I'm adding it to the July TBR, because I read Project Hail Mary in the month of June. So, first book, hopefully I get to it. It's not really that long of a book. Only thing I know about this is an astronaut is the first person to get on Mars, but then I think he ends up getting stranded and he gets stuck on Mars and he has to try and figure out how to get home. So, by what I know, I think that's it. Yeah, the blurb on the back. A mission to Mars, a freak accident, one man's struggle to survive. So, I think it's that he gets to Mars and something happens, he gets stuck, and he's got to figure out what he's going to do to get home. So, yeah, there you have The Martian by Andy Weir. Alright, so the next book I'm going to talk about is Hostage by Claire McIntosh. This is the thriller pick of the month. It's pretty much like the Danielle pick that I typically do once a month. So the only thing that I know about this, it's kind of like a locked room kind of thing, but it's on a plane. And the blurb on the front says, "You can save hundreds of lives or the one that matters most." It's a tough decision to make. But yeah, so I've never read this author before. This came out, I want to say it was last week. It's a very recent release, so, but I think it was last week. I'm very intrigued to get to this because Danielle's had some really good picks with the thriller books. I want to say she's had maybe one or two that kind of flopped, but now that she is kind of understanding of the way how I read, her picks have been a lot better actually. So I'm very intrigued to get into this one. The only thing I know going into it's kind of like a locked room that's meant on a plane, and the blurb on the front. That's all I know. That's all I ever know when I go into the books that she picks. Either the blurb in the front or she tells me like maybe a brief little synopsis. So, but yeah, there you have Hostage by Claire McIntosh. Alright, next book up is The Bird Eater by Anya Elborn. So last month I was supposed to read one of her books and I just purely didn't. So it's been about a month or two since I've read an Anya Elborn. And honestly, I think it's been 2, because the month before that I was supposed to do Seed, and I think I didn't do that one either. But besides that, this is another one that she had written, and I've kind of read some weird things about it. And I'm just very intrigued with how the story is going to play out. Obviously, when I read Anya, I don't pay attention to anything on the back. I just go into it and just read. That's it. If I have any questions, then I kind of go to the back and kind of get an idea of what I'm supposed to be looking for, what I'm supposed to be reading. But with this book, I don't want anything going into it. I don't want to know anything. The cover looks weird as heck. Danielle hates birds, and so we're going to kind of figure out how this plays out with the Bird Eater. So, again, not really that thick of a book. Anya, like I said, has been a really good surprise author for me this year, and we'll see how this one goes. There you have The Bird Eater, Anya Elborn. Alright, so it has been a while since I've read something from this author as well. and that is Parasite by Darcy Coates. I have not read a Darcy Coates book for a little while now, and she has also been a really solid author for me. I mean, Parasite I think is like a horror science fiction kind of book, because I want to say it's about like an alien out on like a moon base or something like that. I'll read the first blurb on the back of this. It's a little bit thicker for a Darcy Coates book. I think this, Hunted, and then like the winter... She's got like a winter series that she has, and all 4 of those books are relatively thick too. But I'm going to read the first little thing on the back here. When a guard discovers an unusual life form on her remote moon outpost, she disregards protocol to investigate, with catastrophic consequences. The parasitic alien wears its victims' skins and adopts their personalities. It mimics the way they talk, the way they look, the way they act. It's the perfect disguise. So this sounds like Darcy Coates takes on The Thing, or Who Goes There, which is the actual like short novella that The Thing was based off of. So it sounds like her take on that, by what I've read on there and what I've read on the back. Which Who Goes There is a short novella I read, and I'm pretty sure I gave it 5 stars. It's a really solid book, or well, novella. And the movie The Thing with Kurt Russell back in the 80s, I think it was. So the 80s or the 90s. That movie was phenomenal. The remake, that was like a prequel, kind of sucked. But besides that, very excited to get into this, because I remember when I first actually like read like the synopsis for this thing back in, honestly, I think it was a year or 2 ago. I didn't even really get into Darcy Coates. I actually think that I thought that she was a man at the time, and so I like didn't really pay much attention to like the author herself. But now that I've like collected her books and I've read a couple of them, I'm very, very excited to read this book actually. So there you have Parasite by Darcy Coates. Alright, so to kind of answer any questions you guys are going to have on this next one, this was in my June TBR. June was also a very heavy new release month, so some of the books kind of got pushed back. Like I said, the Anya Allborn did. I never read The Talisman by Stephen King. And this book got pushed back. July is also kind of the same thing, because I know the new Riley Sager's coming out this month, which I can't remember the name of it.
Survive the Night.
Survive the Night. That's coming out this month, and so, like I said, I'm going to try and get to all these books. The one that I'm going to push over into July from June is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. So, as you guys know, I'm trying to dip into fantasy. I've read the first 2 Harry Potter books. Both of them have gotten pretty decent ratings. By what I know, this is like the last like childish kind of version, and then it gets serious. And the rest of them are thick as heck. The last 4 books are chunkers, if you will. They're really big. So, again, you all know Harry Potter. This is the 3rd book in the series. I want to get to this one so I can get closer to finishing the series and just being done with it. I'm not hating it, but it's one of those series. It's like one of those books where it's like, you know, other people really enjoy it, but you yourself are just kind of like just reading it to read it so I can get it out of the way and I can say that I read it. It's one of those kind of things. So, but yeah, hopefully I get to it this month so I can be one step closer in finishing my journey with Harry Potter. Oh, I also took the test from the Harry Potter website, and I apparently am a Gryffindor based off of the things I picked. So, and I think Danielle was a Hufflepuff. So, there you have that. If you guys are wondering what house I would be in, apparently I'd be in Gryffindor. So, but yeah, there you have Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Alright, the last book I'm going to talk about, because again, like I said, this is just kind of like a rough idea of some books I want to get to. Other books will be added, some books will be subtracted, and you guys know the routine at this point. I do my best to try and get to all the books on my list. Sometimes it just doesn't happen because of new releases, and like I said right before the Harry Potter book, June had a bunch of them, July's got a bunch of them, August I think it's got a couple. I know Billy Summers by Stephen King is coming out that month, so that for sure is going to be on TBR for August. But the King book that I'm going to talk about this month is Lissy's Story. So this, by what I know, is about a woman who is the wife of an author who passed away, and she's going through all of his works and all of his writings and stuff. And in typical Stephen King fashion, some weird crap happens. Don't know what. I'm going to figure it out, hopefully. There was a TV series. I think it's a series. A TV series that came out revolving around this, I think, this past month in June. Kind of got mixed reviews, but I kind of figured with that coming out, a lot of people have been reading Lissy's story, and so I figured maybe I should give it a read and see how it goes. But yeah, that's all I really know about Lissy's story. Is it's about a, like I said, it's about the wife of an author, and the author passed away, and she's kind of going through his old works and some stuff up in the attic. And a bunch of weird stuff happens like it typically does in a Stephen King novel. So, yeah, there you have Lissy's Story by Stephen King. Alright guys, so that is my July TBR. Those are the books that I am hoping to get to in the month of July. Obviously there's other books that are going to be added. New releases as such. But that's kind of the base I want to get to. Like I said, I really want to get to all these books because they all are really intriguing. After reading Project Hail Mary, I've been kind of on like a science kind of thing. So like that's why I want to read Parasite by Darcy Coates. As well as The Martian by Andy Weir as well. Very excited to get into these books. What are some books you're wanting to read in the month of July? Let me know in the comments down below. And again, if you're intrigued with any of these books, we'll have them linked down below as well. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Later.